There's my cactus. There's my dog. There's the roses, and there is a log. There's a frog in the bog. There's my cash. Ooh, what a jug. Going back in time now. I play games. I am a cow. Track and field. Oh, what a deal. Gonna steal all the mobiles.
Hey. Does it actually work? Oh. Odd. Okay. So I have one set up for just chat, and then for all stream, and then one for the Twitch only. so then Twitch doesn't get bitchy about having chat on screen. Although I do need to see if the stream actually, you know, does its thing. Because interestingly enough, my post did not, which is strange. Yeah, that is strange. I'll be jumping into VC in a sec. But if Twitch... Okay, let's quickly check to see if the YouTube chat works, and if that does... Okay. Okay, so at least we're getting YouTube's... Okay, so Restream was just not wanting to work the past couple days. Got it! Well, at least it's working now. Actually, since it's working and both are being sent to my phone, I don't need these open technically. And also it would just be easier to look at probably for everyone, so... I'll worry about the chat situation later, but for now at least it works. Yeah. Left is for Twitch, right one is all chat since there isn't an option in Restream to set it specifically to YouTube, but... Twitch just doesn't like having its chat integrated into other chats, apparently, and so you're seeing a lot of streamers like separate Twitch's chat from the rest of chat, which sucks. It's just like it's needlessly dumb. I'm treating everyone equal by having them all in one chat. That's how I'm able to read everything, so that I don't miss shit. At least I have the chat loaded up on my phone and it works, so... I found at least a method to keep an eye on chat. If everything's working, should be good. I don't have to have this open for the rest of it, effectively for the rest of it. I'll have to get a new quote here at some point. Just to fresh up the background a bit. Yeah, just wanted to quickly update that real quick. Alright. I'm gonna turn down the music just a smidge. There we go, that should be fine. And of course, right, do that, it ends. Oh yeah, I need to record the audio for quitting the game. I need to do that. I also need to set it up. I also need to find a font on Google Fonts to replace Cryo Crisis, the title font. I don't think I need to replace it for the actual button. I mean, still, it'd probably be nice just for the sake of consistency and stuff like that. I'm getting distracted. I should probably be focusing on trying to get game stuff done. I'll be right back as quickly as possible. I'll be in the VC as well when I get back, so yeah. Alright, I'm back. And without throwing myself into the VC, so then, yeah. Alright, just quickly going through all the notifications that I have all of a sudden popping up, and I'm like, fuck, I have to go to deal with this shit real quick. That'll annoy the shit out of me otherwise. And of course, right as I sit down, it's phone calls. But I need it preloaded to be able to interact with the functions of it. That's probably what I need to do, huh? That's okay. So then, at that point, what's the point of having the globals, though? Then? Because if I put it in as text, it would just show up as text, as string. Like if I were to go in and put, global, right, into the text slot.
Oh, I need to mute your stream.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, what's going on? I wasn't paying a lot of attention.
Not much was going on, to be fair, but what's going on
You
here
were
is...
confused about your global stuff.
Yeah, I'm confused on how I'm supposed to set up a level transition effect. So
Like move from scene to scene and have an animation that happens?
not that, it's in the editor when you're like, okay, I want to go to this, I want to change to this scene. And I have globals where it has the levels, and
Right.
the problem is that I don't seem to... I don't know if there's a way for me to just go in. Let me,
Yeah, I'm looking. I wasn't paying attention. I was dealing with someone's tournament thing.
Gotcha.
The Face It, Face It has partnered with Overwatch, and the way that the tournament works means there's been bugs frequently, and so apparently both sides have to play without an Orisa and Lucio because that's what they banned in round 1. And in round 2 it's supposed to reset, but it didn't.
Yeah.
So that's why it didn't do the hero bans. It locked in Orisa and Lucio, but so yeah, they're now playing also without Juno and Rumatra, I think. Even though I know the guys set the settings to reset every round, so.
So what I've got here is a function. Yeah.
Int func type, match type, type generic.
So
Okay.
this is for...
So if it's a
Yeah.
trans, which is transition,
Yeah.
get tree, change. Did you? I'm not gonna comment. Get tree, change scene to file, target.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with...
And then where is target defined? Is target defined in the interactable?
Yes.
Okay. So what's your problem with the globals?
The problem is that since I have them set up, I was thinking I could maybe set them up in global so that way I didn't have to type out the string every time, and instead just put in global dot and then level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you could do that.
Wouldn't it just be a string though? That's my thing. Like, wouldn't it just show up with with quotations around it? Thus, it wouldn't actually
Sure,
do
but
it.
what you could do, right? So, since you're entering a scene's node path, effectively, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. It's just the file path.
Yeah.
So what you're doing with ttarget is you're just saying, hey, change to this file path. So if you load that globally, it can just be called global dot hallway 2, global dot hallway 3.
Right.
It will be saved as a string, but it's easier to refer to for yourself rather than having to pull up the file path or dynamically code the file path for that location.
Yeah.
And it doesn't preload the actual scene, it only preloads the file path.
Right.
So I suppose that would be the way to do it.
Part of me was thinking like setting up like a temp thing where it goes in, takes ttarget, and then removes the quotations and then throws it in there.
Why would it need to remove the quotations?
So then it's no longer. So the problem is that say I go in and say, just to go from here, let's. So this would allow it to actually function, but because I'm entering in through a string, if I entered it like this, quotes around it, thus not giving me the file path.
But you do want the quotes around it.
This no, because the obviously
Oh yeah, no, but global.testmap isn't a string. Just to put global.testmap.
Yeah, that's the thing. I want this piece, so then that's the reason why I was thinking of setting up a temporary thing, so that it takes the global.testmap that I put in as a string, and then effectively removes the quotation.
But global.testmap is a string.
Yeah.
So just don't put the quotes.
This is a string. The global.testmap, that is a string. Yes.
But it's a constant testmap string. So the name test, so like the variable type testmap, if you just remove the quotes around global.testmap, you're putting a variable in place of a normal string.
Right.
And that calls a string. So that would be fine syntactically.
Right. Okay. Let me explain this because yeah. So there's the field that I have on the right. If I were to go in and put global dot, this is a string. This isn't going to show up like that.
Just don't put it in there.
That's the reason why I wanted to put it in.
You could probably assign it in a different way by having it so the interactable pulls from global the string name.
Right. That's the reason why I wanted to put it in there, though, so then I could go in and be like, place it in, type it in here, and then that way I don't have to go in and put in the file path every time I have to go in and do a scene transition. I just do the global.
You wouldn't necessarily have to, because again, if you're assigning them all in the global, right? Because obviously, if you want to assign it in the inspector for each interactable thing, you would just attach the thing. You'd point the thing to like a switch statement that checks each global transition and just the one with the name that you enter. Like you'd use a string name to point to a specific variable. So like it would be global dot get level and then a string, and then in global you'd have get level string, and it would be a match statement that's just every string is the return the variable that's in the list. Right?
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So yeah, in global you'd have so it'd be global dot get level, and then so ttarget can be the string, right? It can be the plain text name like main menu, test, map, etc.
Right.
And then that would be the way you do it. I mean, there's probably a way to just pull from the global in the interactable.
That's what I was thinking. Like maybe there's like a way I could format it or something. I don't know.
Check. Okay, no new messages in there. I don't know how you define what the function's supposed to return in GNOME. It's been a while.
I like your funny words, Magic Man.
I think return is the thing. Is that it would return that, and then that would be...
Well, yeah, no, because in C# you've got voids which return nothing. You've got you just put the variable type you want it to return.
Right.
Obviously, this is technically an extension of Python, so it's probably doesn't need defining, and so whatever you return is assumed to be the context given.
Right.
So yeah, you would basically just like test map case test map return global.testmap case level case what was the other one you had, main menu. Yeah, I would just I would also have probably a file that just, I don't know, tells you, just make sure that you know what you're doing, like, because obviously you're going to have to edit the match statement each time you have a new transition.
Right.
Between scenes, obviously, not between not like camera transitions.
Right.
So number of levels is basically just that, right? So if you then put if the next case was like main menu or menu, it would take you to the main menu, and so every transition, like interactable that transitions, can just have that attached by just typing in the text that's there.
Mm-hmm.
So for T_target in the on the right there, instead of global.testmap, it would just be test.
So then, in this case, I'd then go...
And then you'd just put, you could do temp, or instead of global.testmap, you could do global.get level T_target. Because you don't need to make a temp variable for it. You can do it all in the bracket. Get level. And then T_target, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shadow, I need you to make a code that makes people use their blinkers in this goddamn simulation we call Earth.
Because as you can see here, Shadow, you could just put global.getLevel T_target where global.testmap is.
Oh,
or just replace global.testmap with _temp. Because you don't technically need to define the variable.
Bitch, how the fuck do you see over that steering wheel? It's the same level as your goddamn eyes.
Like the way the program interprets it, it does the brackets. Like because they're nested, it does global.getLevel first, then change scene to. So it gets the tree, then it moves to change scene file. It does global.getLevel. Then it's like, oh, that's the string I'm putting in, and that should work.
Okay, let's...
I don't know what you've got to set up to test this, but yeah.
Yeah. What I'm thinking...
What I would do if you wanted a transition animation that was like... If it was like the Borderlands transition animation, right? Where you it plays the portal effect as you move. I would make it so that it's just something that when you load a scene, it does the animation, or before it loads the scene, it does the loading screen, quote-unquote, animation.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, is that there's going to be an in-between scene. What I'm thinking is that plays, the in-between scene plays first, and then you have the level transition.
Yeah.
That way you have like
play an animation over the screen, transition scene.
Yeah. I'm thinking...
Or you can do the walking through the hallway, walking up the stairs style loading screen.
That's the whole gimmick with... that's what I'm doing. I have a...
the animation itself is the walking through the hallway. But like, so it being like Resident Evil / Dino Crisis. Resident Evil, they play the doors. So you would... Because you wouldn't make it so that... Obviously, I don't know how to disconnect with, I don't know how to do something outside of the scene, right? So if you don't have a scene loaded, can you play something on the screen in Godot? I don't know. So I wouldn't want to have to make a mini scene that's just the camera load, whilst in the background it loads the thing it's actually trying to move to, and then it transitions whilst blocking the player's screen to the one they're actually going to. Because that's what most That's what most loading screens are doing. They're hiding your screen while the stuff that's actually supposed to be rendered is happening behind that black square or animated square. Or
That's why I have the loading the level swap scene loaded as a preloaded in the global.
Right. Yeah.
So
Okay.
within it, I have a function that I have yet to set up, and it is
We'll need a better way
Yeah.
to set up this. Animation become visible will be handled with the animation itself. Fade from black, showing the door on PC. Door opening with the PC stepping through. Door shuts and fades to black in the new scene. Hide. Yeah, makes sense.
yeah. So it's from scene, and I had this set up as integer, but I don't like the setup to integer, but it's what I have for now. So that way it's like, okay, it's this door in this room, not like any other door that you could be potentially entering the room from.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then door type. So that way it's like it matches with what you're seeing within the building. So if it's like a large door or a small door, or maybe
Yeah.
it's like a hatch or something.
Obviously, it's good to have the numbers for convenience, but you should have something to point out that like that would be calling from an array, right? So like or
Yeah.
a match statement, just match zero. If it's 0, do this door, 1, do this door, 2, do this door.
Right.
In a way to make it more legible to you in case you forget what the function does and you're coming back to it.
Right.
It's good to have the comments, but it would be something like previous scene, next scene, door type, right?
Right.
Because also calling it LS rather than like loading screen, LS is a bit like, what does LS mean? LS Los Santos. Welcome
Los
to Los.
Sueños.
Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
Do-do-do-do.
Do 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 do.
Do-do.
Yeah. I all right. I want to. Yeah. Let's see. So that works. So this works. Now I need to set up the generic, so the little pop-up box of like, this is a bookshelf, like
Wow.
that type of shit.
So, according to Face It, the issue the guy's currently having with his little tournament,
Well, no.
a setting undid itself when round 2 was generated via like the who's playing who.
Yeah.
So all round 2 matches are affected, and they can't reset round 2 settings. So everyone's round 2 will fuck up with the hero bans. Wow, poor guy.
What's going on?
So my friend is hosting like a little Overwatch tournament. Well, I say little. I think they had like a lot of sign-ups, so it's not little. I think it's the biggest in the EU currently. I think, and they have a partnership.
Okay.
They have a partnership with Faceit, the esports little website, and so does
Okay.
Overwatch. Overwatch has a partnership with Faceit, so Faceit can more dynamically set up games in the game, and he's had numerous round 2 problems, where they ban the heroes for round 1, they go into round 2, and then they don't get an option to do any hero bans anymore. And even though he set it all up properly, press the button. In the button for
Yeah,
generating
that's why
all
I
things,
didn't trust your fucking blinker. Now fucking go, bitch. Sorry, I'm driving
yeah,
and I have
yeah,
a
it's
guy
alright.
just
The
cut me off.
button to set up the stat, like the who's playing who, just broke the round 2 for every match, and it can't be fixed. Even though reasonably it would be something of just changing a number or a variable in the thing. It would be really easy, like if you had back end, like if you could just load up the file that's associated with these things on the server and just change it from a 1 to a 2, for example. So they can't do that, and so yeah, despite having official support and it being officially integrated to Overwatch, it still doesn't work. So it
Ripperonis.
sucks for the guy.
That's Overwatch for you.
Oh no, this is Faceit's problem. Overwatch is functioning fine. The problem is Faceit isn't. Yeah. Faceit
Either
isn't
way,
for the-
that's Overwatch for you.
which
Only, only
I
in
think-
Overwatch tournaments have I heard issues happening like this.
I think we're disconnected enough that I don't have to like say that I'm only a substitute admin. I am not I'm not like actually affiliated with the guy hosting this thing, so you can't blame him for what I'm saying. I think we're far enough that I don't need to do that. But like, dear lord, I was saying this to the guy when he was first looking at Face It. That Face It is fucking awful. It's like, sure, they do a lot of the stuff for you in terms of like, and they have their own ranking systems that can like get match data, but still, like, don't. And he did, and this is the issue he's now facing. Poor guy.
Oh, goddamn. Hey, look, the Red Bull Mini.
Do 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 do.
All right. So now to get generic to work, so I need a UI element that pops up, and then using the text box, using the string that's provided,
Pepsi.
has that pop up.
Yeah. For that, you can add the captain Overwatch and set up a self-hosted lobby like a scrim. In there. So yeah, if these people wanted to play Orisa or Lucio, they just can't, because now the way that it's fucked up, it's just permanently set those characters as unplayable. Because the way the Overwatch lobby works is you can disable heroes in the lobby settings.
No, like Marvel, right? Like Marvel, right?
Yeah, so it's hero bans, which they were gonna have for a while, and but when you load up the custom game lobby, there are a bunch of settings you can tweak. Like you can tweak damage settings, gravity settings, whether or not you can even attach scripts if you go more complex in their little pseudo forge thing. Let's see, they're about to pick a map. Let's cross fingers. Actually, it looks like they're on the last round. They've played. Oh no, they're about to pick their map. So in there, you can also determine which characters are able to be selected. So it doesn't even grey it out like I think in competitive it greys it out. For this, you just ban it completely, and so it doesn't even show up like grayed out or anything. It's just removed. No one can select it. And so when they first selected those hero bans, they got removed from the lobby. The lobby got set up. People got invited to the lobby, and it seems as though they just keep getting put into basically an identical lobby that has what do you call it? That has the same characters banned, which is stupid. There's even a setting that when you're setting up the round saying, "Hey, reset the bans every round," and he said it, and it just turned off that setting.
Yeesh.
Neat.
But it looks like the two captains are going to add each other, and so they're going to self-host, completely disconnected from Face It. So the Face It sponsorship, well, not Face It partnership, and the official integration into Overwatch was kind of pointless. They're just gonna, and it looks like that's going to be the case for every single match in this second stage. Yeah, he's in round 2. And one team is playing right now. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 more games to play. Only one today, but there's 10 more games to play, which isn't great. If this is a bug for every single match. Yeah, poor guy. Looks like they're adding each other. Hold the lobby if they ask to. Okay. contacted our partnership manager and lodged a complaint with him and threatened to pull out the partnership. Also, why the fuck is Gibraltar in the map pick? Right, yeah, he didn't put Gibraltar in the map pick, and now now the players get to pick if they play Gibraltar. Very funny. Oh, that's
Shit's
funny.
just working.
We would
damn.
like to. Okay, match actions on hold. Okay. Please. Post results of each round into here so I can update the score. Another thing was like last time I was helping the guy. They have a function to set the result of a round, so I set the result to like 1-0 to show that their side won, right? And it doesn't advance to round 2. It just stays on round 1. So they're about to play the round that I just set the result to. You'd think set result, skip to round 2. And again, it just makes me think of the code on the back end for the server. That it's probably fucking ass.
Jesus.
And to be fair, on Face It, I believe this is still relatively early days. But if this is something that Overwatch published, like a little news thing, which they did, the little you load into the game, there's now a page, we've partnered with this company. You'd think they get it solved day 1, not like day 100.
Yeah, I know, right?
Anyway, let me pull up your stream again. It seems I no longer have to watch that much. Since they're just doing it themselves, I just update the score when they're done. Formless, 4-3.
Speaking of poor coding decisions, what about that Twitter AI that named itself Mecha Hitler?
Oh yeah, that was funny.
See.
And this is why I don't go on Twitter anymore.
A multi-line text editor designed for editing code. What? Why would you need... Anyway.
What? I can make it because I'm still doing 25.
Yeah, 1-1 on both sides.
I'm currently doing for our EU friend. I'm currently doing 60 kilometers an hour. Woo! I'm not going that fast.
Fast?
I think.
Since I was doing 120 kilometers an hour about 2 minutes ago, I ain't going that fast.
Yeah, I see that they won 4-3 on that. You didn't win 4. I know you didn't get 4-3 in a self-hosted lobby this quickly. So like, why are they trying to tell me the results of the game they already just won? Sometimes. Testing grounds around here. BB code. Wow, he got that BBC, baby. What are you wanting to do? Like set it in the middle?
Yeah. This is the first time I've used rich text labels, so that's...
Godot, rich, well, how to center text. When open up the markup one real quick. What's the markup one? Oh, right. Okay, so enable BB code. Use BB code tags. Oh, okay. So it's like markdown text. Okay. So did you
Thank God, guys,
enable
that's
BB
good.
code? So if you put like at the front of it put center in square brackets, CENTER. And then on the end of it.
Oh, kind of like Steam, where you have like the front and the...
HTML or this is technically a markdown text, so, and then a slash, and lowercase c, I think.
Ah, there we go.
There you go. So, bold, italic, underline will typically have stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you have a dynamic, so yeah, let me. This is actually a pretty good little AI summary here. So I'll put it in spam now. Here's a little AI summary of how it works, obviously. And to get the different, is there like a BB code thing here? No, I sent the text. BB code tags. Okay. Yeah, I would use bbcode.org here.
All right.
Where it's it tells you like you can do font size, underline, stroke, proof, color, center text, left align, right align, quote named, spoiler named, link, image, etc. So you can even put an image in the text box technically. So there you go.
Nice.
Let me check this. Where's the do 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 do. Also, what is funny though, like they don't get these lobbies worked, but at least they have this. You can post emojis and gifs in the chats, or like there's a team chat and then a room chat. So yeah, like you can post little images. You can even upload your own image. It can download images. I'm gonna put a 9 terabyte zip bomb on the face it though. This is a joke. This is a joke. Isn't it pluses for?
Oh, right. Right. So that means I'd have to have it disappear after. Right. Okay. I mean, it would be nice to have like the little type out effect, right? But that's polish. That's things later on down. And then we have to have it disable after, well,
Do 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 do.
In this case, it would be pausing the game, but for temporary, and it doesn't load up the pause menu.
Oh,
When
I just saw the page refresh. That was weird.
Yeah.
Like the Faceit page, like both chats refreshed. So apparently they can't even get their chats right.
All right. Cat wants out. I'm gonna let her out real quick. All right. Oh boy. Oh god.
What are you giggling about?
Just a friend of mine's being an idiot, and another friend is just like, look at this shit.
I won't do the obvious joke of, wait, you have friends?
Yeah, I know, right? Crazy. Now that I think about it, I can go in, because of this, that means I could probably set up... Wait, wouldn't I want to set this up as like a rich string?
Rick.
Tja. No, just a string? Okay.
Yeah, so a rich text is, like, rich text doesn't mean like it's a rich string. A rich text is just like a format. So, like, it would still just pass a string anyway.
Okay, so if I want to have... That means if I want to go in and set things up, that could be interesting.
Earlier with the add to either side, that works fine. Because remember, like, the thing that you put into, like, if you were hovering over the pop-up UI, for example, or the pause UI, anything like the one with the rich text label in the editor.
Yeah, that would be the
Like,
pop-up UI.
Hover over it. Yeah. In the editor, so go on the left. So like, it's got the rich text label. If you hover over the text, does it say anything? Like hover over the word text, not over the actual text. No, on the right. Property text. Yeah, just some string, right? So just text.
Oh, okay.
String.
Okay.
Also, you wrote testing without a T in it. Is that on purpose? Testing text.
Yeah.
So without a T on purpose? Is this some sort of inside joke, or is it you being illiterate?
It's me being illiterate.
Fair enough.
Alright, so that makes this interesting then, because if I go in and
I get that little AI summary of someone else's like telling you how it works. Has the same thing for dynamic text. Rich text label.text equals center the string and then just the slash center. So yeah, this is a test string for whatever. When that triggers, it would pull up. The image will be centered with this is a text string for.
Yeah, and then because of this setup, I could then use BB code around like individual words, so that way I could have a sentence where one word is bold and things like that. I think that could be.
Yeah, and that can be baked into the string.
Yeah.
You can make it bold. You can make it red. You can make it whatever. You can make it brown. It could be blue. It could be violet sky.
And then of course you could add images into it.
Yeah, but I'd say mess with this for now because obviously it probably works in the same way. It's like image resource, like the same way it does with Godot. But
you throw YouTube videos in.
This is there a URL one? I was looking.
I was just scrolling through it, and then it's like YouTube videos. Huh?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Basically, this is how you like a lot of websites might use this, right? Like your meme sites, their comment section might have Markdown enabled. Discord, for example, has Markdown enabled. So that's what lets you change the URL to say something else. It's what lets you. Now, I don't think they have YouTube embed enabled, but if they have BB code enabled, then they do. So a lot of like smaller meme sites that aren't using some sort of proprietary or like middleware thing will just be like, yeah, BB code. You want to embed a YouTube video into your comment? Embed a YouTube video into your comment with YouTube.
It's just
the thing is that your game isn't set up to do that, like and then like connect to the internet. So I doubt Godot just lets you put in a YouTube video in your game without setting up something else.
Yeah.
It probably has the more default ones. Let me see. Did they? They did not tell me yet.
If I remember correctly, there was a
blue, violet sky. It can be purple. It can be purple. It can be anything you love. Do do do. Godot for BBC, baby.
Where is it? It's there was a particular channel that did it. It was that did tutorial stuff. That she going by voice. It's a shot in the dark. Probably trans, but did a whole breakdown of all the BBC code and like all the things that you could do. It was, although in this case it was talking about the console. So the console itself is a rich text. So that way you could have different formatting for like compiling errors and things like that.
Shadow can't just listen to a tutorial from a man. It has to have a feminine voice talking about BBC. I mean, like, what are you specifically looking for?
The reason
from this tutorial,
it's more of like the formatting, because there's a couple of things in there, like you can have it vibrate and like animated, like pulsing color kind of thing. If you wanted to make like a warning kind of thing. I'll look to it later.
Because I know, like in the tags reference, I'm pretty sure that it's like they've got the code section, right, which is effectively the script tag. When you have where is it? Just scroll down. Code, language specific. Code equals language text, so you can add code. Pre-formatted tables, table rows. If I go to formatting, table generator, call HTML to BB code. And then you just put in the HTML you want. So, yeah. It's so very, like, why did they use, like, grey on white rather than, like, black on white? And then look, they even give you examples as well. So that's how you get that. That's, yeah. Yeah. If you can find one that does it in HTML, I'll shoot you this in Spamfile as well. Here's a HTML to BB code converter.
Oh, nice.
I'm assuming that one is 1 second.
Yeah.
Hey, neat.
Nice.
This is a test string box. You posted it, which means I get an excuse to post it. Let me find it. Wait, do I really not have it like saved anywhere? It's art that someone made for me. I don't have it saved anywhere. Birthday. That was a commission. I really don't. That's crazy. Well, I know where it is. I can just go find it, but that's crazy, honestly. Should be in my PM somewhere, right? There you go. Right. I also posted it myself. Here we go. Right, because I edited it. You edited it. P image. I'll save the image as just the base version.
Actually, I don't have to do... Well, then I'd have to modify the pause function because I need to set it up so then if it's paused but not out of the player hitting pause, it is instead a pause in regards to interacting with something, you don't have a UI element that pops up.
Looks like not only just every match in the division I'm currently watching right now, but every match in the division of the rookie division as well. So every match this entire week is fucked for the guy. That's crazy.
Oh, okay. So it's not really even an issue because it's already a separate thing handled because of the input. Okay.
What? Oh, what, the timer thing?
No. In regards to, like, if you're interacting with something,
Yeah.
I want the game to pause, but not have the pause menu UI pop up. So that way you can go in, read whatever you're doing, or if you're interacting with, kind of to hold hold the same kind of thing where you
don't
could
want it to say like if it was Morrowind, like new game, load, save, help, quit. Right? You don't want it to say that. You just want it to pause everything so that you've got time to read and not get attacked by a zombie.
Yeah. So that's already handled.
And
so
because you're not pausing with the same function that pauses when you're actually in the pause screen, that it doesn't show up, right?
Wait a minute. It's reading the game paused. If game paused, okay, so that means. Okay, so that means it's reading from the global game pause. So that means the UI would pop up. Never mind. I'm a fucking idiot.
Well, I mean, not necessarily, right? Because that UI only pops up if you press if input dot is action, just press pause, reset, then if it's paused. Yeah, there's actually some. I find this code actually a bit silly. Now that I'm looking at it, not gonna lie.
Well, yeah, anything I do is probably the worst way of doing it.
Because it's so when you press the pause button, it triggers the pause, but that's only when you press the pause button, which makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But that means that the game is only, it's like you would have a default like function that's like the pause function that is being called, rather than saying in this if the person just pressed spacebar, now check if the you know what I mean?
It's interesting
because think of it like if global.game paused, the code in the interactable won't trigger the pause UI to be visible, because the code in the interactable doesn't do input.is action just pressed pause. The only issue is you can't pause when the little item menu is up, because it would unpause and it would set invisible the text, the UI that's already invisible.
Right.
So that's why you would want to use a separate boolean.
Gotcha.
Because let's say like do it now, in fact, because all the code's there. Pick up the like go to the interactable note.
Yeah.
And then press pause when the text is on screen. And an error should pop up. Or it's fine, and turning off an already invisible thing is fine. Like you can do global dot game paused. Equals true. So yeah, when you do this test, it might pause the timer as well. That shouldn't, but it should be fine. But when the text shows up, that seems longer than a set. Oh no, okay, that was fine.
Yeah.
Okay, test again. When the text pops up, press the escape key or whatever you've got set for pause. Obviously now you can't trigger it again because it's gone.
Right.
So close it and just press run again.
Oh, that.
Yeah, save.
Yeah.
It's strange because the game paused variable is set to off. No, it's set to on, but not by pressing pause.
Right.
And so pausing, quote unquote, unpauses by pressing the unpause. It's like the unpause side of the if statement, and then you have to basically pause twice to pause when the text is up.
Right.
So if someone double taps pause, that will pause. If they single tap pause, it won't pause.
Right.
Is basically the problem that happens by having the pause in the key press. You get what I mean?
Right.
Because that global.game paused, I believe, currently doesn't actually pause anything, right? But where do you actually pause? Like in the pause code, right? If we go back to there. Right. Like the one that does if input equals enter game dot. Okay. If global game paused, don't move forward. Oh, so if it's not paused, do that. What about when if it is paused? Is that at the end of the if statement?
Yeah. If it's not, if something, excuse me, I don't know how that happened, but so this doesn't have the if not global game paused check, so you can interact with this regardless. Whereas if the game is paused, excuse me, if the game is not paused, you'll be able to interact with it.
Your inputs don't happen, which is fine.
Yeah.
But is that the only way you're currently pausing things?
That's the current method that I have. Yes.
Because that wouldn't pause. That wouldn't pause enemies. That wouldn't pause.
Right.
A timer. That wouldn't pause that would only pause input.
I'd have to. Yeah, I'd have to set up like a pause function in regards to checking that global.
So a pause function would basically just be await input. Basically, you'd await for an input to unpause.
Right.
Because that's why I was a bit worried and like confused, because obviously you don't have a global like pause function currently. You just have a pause the character from moving around, which for all intents and purposes pauses.
Yeah.
But if you had an enemy running around and you pressed pause right now, the enemy wouldn't pause.
Right. I'd have to.
You'd have to put in that code if global.gamePause don't move around. Right. But then you basically have to do if global.gamePaused for literally everything that might have any interaction, rather than like an underlying if paused stop all game function, if unpaused resume all game function.
Right.
Because that's usually how like a pause function works. It's not hey, everyone that's currently thinking right now, just don't move. Because effectively you're just playing musical statues. Music's back on now, let's move. Music's back on. Music's... But you have the capability to move, but the code isn't letting you.
Yeah.
Which is fair for what you're doing. It does mean that for like I said, for everything, you're going to have it, if not global.gamePaused. That's basically the start of all of their functions.
Right.
Like the timer countdown. Rather than just using await.timeout number, you're going to have it so if not game paused, count -1, -1, -1, -1.
Right.
Effectively. Because you need to be able to pause that timer.
Right.
And if you can't pause the timer through through game global.gamePaused, then every timer needs to have a make sure to say this is paused, which is actually can be useful because it means that you can have the game running while still having it technically paused. That's a good thing about having your own pause like that, where they're checking for a variable, because you don't want Godot to just stop. Because if Godot stops, it can't know when it needs to unstop. So await.timeout is useful because it's like, hey, in this amount of time, like pause the code currently. Nothing can happen whilst we're awaiting. Tip is not necessarily because it's multi-threaded, but you get what I mean. If it was a single-threaded thing, it would stop all code in this section that's running until the seconds come out. Whereas if you had a pause that paused everything and you didn't set a time limit, how is it going to get the input if it's currently pausing all code and the way that you read input is code, you know?
Right.
So it's good to have, but also awkward to have. 2-1. Okay, so there we go. Set result. Wait, sorry. 2-1 for formless. Okay. Match actions. Set result. Formless. 1. Set result. That should, if I look at the thing, matches 2-1. Okay, good. When did they say that? They said that a minute ago. Understood. Because when they have to manually do it, I have to go in and I have to set round 3. This happens, so then now it's 2-1, and they're playing best of 3. So I have to wait for the next one. They go 3-1 or 2-2, and then the next one 3-2 or 2-3. And even though, right, if I do set result, right, for round 1 is 1-2. Round 2 is 4-3 because they're playing a best of 5.
Mm-hmm.
in each little map. Round 3 is 1-0. Why? Because if you manually set the result and you set like the actual score that the person got in the game, it thinks that you're setting them to have 4 wins against 3 losses. So the total scoreboard, instead of saying 2-1, would have said, let me see, 2-1. Okay, the person's message was retracted, but I think they said they won 3-2 or something. So if I added that, instead of it saying 2-1 right now, it would say 4-3 on the third round. They somehow played 7 rounds on the third round. It's like, how do you mess this up? Because like, if I clicked set result right now on the first round, even though it says 1-2, it will fuck it over. Like I said, so they set it themselves. Like back end, it sets it like that, and it works fine because they've got the scoreboard that says, oh, in the first round, Jormungandr won 2-1. In the second round, Formless won 4-3.
Right.
Which, in a best of 5 doesn't make sense, but you know the numbers are game mode specific, right? So if they were playing
King of the Hill, then CTF, then Oddball, like that sort of thing.
Yeah. So they that's not perfect because usually they're just number versus number. So let's say you're playing Control Point. That's I believe best of 5, so it'd just be like the maximum you'd get would be 3-2. Whereas let's say you're playing Payload, you've typically got 3 points on the payload, so that can end up as a draw 3-3, or it can end up in a win 3-3. But the winner got further on their distance. If they were playing the old version of Overwatch, with this it would be 3-2. So again, best of 5. But if you're playing the game mode where you're like it's like 5 CP, and so you get the first point, the second point, and then the third point you have to get 3 points, right? That means total you're getting 5 points if they were playing that game mode. Whereas the other team could have 4 points, so it'd be 5-4. I don't think they have any of those games on these matches because nobody likes that game mode, apparently. Much like nobody likes the push game mode, apparently, or nobody. I think they're playing Control, Hybrid, Escort, so Control, Payload, but you've got a point to capture at the front, Payload, and then 2 more if they go to all 5. But yeah.
Alright. I'll be right back, my brother.
Alrighty. My brother. Oh, I'm dancing. You got me dancing.
Alright, I'm back. Took a little longer because I decided to make and then consume a sandwich.
Welcome back, gamer. So yeah, I want you to hear this sentence and tell me what nationality you think the person writing this sentence has. For OWCS, we are using internal system. That's not proper English.
I think maybe Indian?
Maybe. Not gonna say, I'm gonna assume, but it does sound like outsourced support. Because often when you go to a support site and they try to do all the things that they can do, and then you try to do something that reasonably you think they should be able to do, but they can't, it's usually like, sorry sir, we're like a third party thing, we can't do that. So when they say, at this moment, it's just not possible to implement any changes to the system, feels like to me. Sorry sir, we can't do that. We are just the people that can, send a request for you. Or you are free to set the score if you already know the final score. Which is like, well, that seems a bit broken the way to say that sentence. And it is just a visual glitch and our team is aware of it. So yeah, our team totally go, totally.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, sir. I will be putting this into the team and the team will get to you shortly, sir. Thank you very much. There was another one I think I read, which was, and the issue happened in round 2 or after you reset it round 1? Question mark. As well as they don't have great, like, obviously I don't have great commas, but at least I don't make mistakes like that. Especially the insistence on ending messages with exclamation points. I believe that might be the issue. That's on me for not explaining it well. Apologies for that. Once live, we recommend to not change any settings as it can cause bug, and the changes only happen for the next round. Exclamation point.
Yeah,
The
Indian.
switch from legacy to normal is before the tournament start. Exclamation point.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it would be the tournament starts. It would be, it's just like, it can cause bugs. Not can cause, like, there's a pluralization problem that likely in their native tongue you don't pluralize that way. You, like, it's a separate word entirely when you make a plural. So that's probably why they don't know to put the S on the end.
Yeah, it's in my gut. It is screaming that it's Indian.
Like, sorry, it is definitely me. Safe Punjabi, no virus. But like, often support staff are outsourced to India because you can pay them cheaper, and they have call centers. So that's basically all they're there for.
Right.
Which often is taking advantage of Indians by paying them less than you would a native worker. So honestly, supposedly it's supporting the creators partnered with alongside everyone else who's in the problem. It all runs through that Discord server you joined. Yeah, probably. I don't. Oh right, I fucking filed some tickets for these people. I forgot about that. Let me see these message requests. Oh, someone sent me a message. Okay. Right.
Damn, you at least got support.
Fire.
Starting to heat up, so I'm gonna quickly try to grab a ice pack.
So did I? I closed the messages. Do I still have them? Ticket. Archive. Nope, that's the ticket bot. Ticket tool. Okay, here's a transcript. Ah, there's like a website for the transcript. Okay. Yeah, that looked like ass. That is not a transcript. Okay. What about, is it? No, they delete the channel that the ticket was held in. Right? Yeah, I do think they do that. Let me try reading this because I think I'm just going crazy. Ticket. Go back to the ticket. That's the ticket bot. That's the ticket told. So from that person, ticket claimer, users in the conversation, stated issue. Yes. Can I get like a direct link? Visit site. Okay, yes, I'll log in with Discord. If apparently it is needed. Authorize. Oh, immediately after. Okay, so. Hello, as I can see, your game mode is Legacy, and that's without an apostrophe, why you have the match stuck on hold. It's like, no, I put the match on hold. The issue was the hero bands did not show up when I started. Once you put the match on hold, it is not possible to put the match back to the voting state. Okay, so for this ticket, I had to restart the match because of the lack of a hero ban in round 2, and then I tried to set the result for round 1 to go to round 2, even though I set result. The match is still on round 1. I can take it off hold, but I only put it on hold after the issue occurred. Looks like the veto never ended for map 2, and lobby was never up for map and lobby was never up for map 2. That's why it's not possible to rehost map 2. Is there a way to force into map 2 so the game can continue? I can try to manually configure the map if you let me know what map you need, what heroes they ban, and who is attacking first. Please also update your game mode before you generate next round, which the partner person that he talked to for his partnership said to not do that. And in doing that, that's what caused the issue with the round 2 this time. Map 2, King's Row, Symmetra ban for Team Bossy, Diva ban for other team, and this team will be red team. Looks like this match is broken due to putting it on hold before the veto ended. Which I didn't do, by the way. Okay, yeah. Should I restart and request the teams manually put themselves into round 2 by ending the games ASAP? Even if you try to restart the match room, it will be stuck on hold. Not true. At this moment, they need to do the veto manually in the matchroom chat, and they need to host custom lobby. They are explicitly telling me, stop using our system, go do it themselves. Once match is finished, they can report the score in the room chat, and you can update the score for each map. So again, it's in fact, I think I got the same guy that my friend was talking to. We will seemingly be going through an alternate route, which isn't like actually alternate to what he was saying, because I kind of just ignored him when he started ignoring what I was saying. So I was like, yeah, I'm just going to drop it now. You're welcome. Please update the game mode before you generate next round. The exact thing they told me to do is what broke this time. And let us know if you have any problem. Like any problem is like if you have any problems or a problem. Let me open up the other ticket because I had to open 2. Where this one pissed me off when I opened it because we had 2 lobbies have similar but different issues. So I say issue with restarted match skipping hero bans. Last time a restart got stuck on round 1, cannot rehost round 2 since round 2 doesn't exist. Hey, I can manually set the hero bans if the team have decided already. Oh, seems you already have a ticket opened with the same issues. Please do not create multiple tickets with the same request. I say these are the same issue in separate matches. No response, and then I just close the ticket, because if I'm not going to get a reply, what's the fucking point?
Jesus.
Fucking hell. Yeah, so, yeah, he just sent, like, an announcement here, like, hey guys, sorry, Facet's fucked. Obviously, the people would want to self-host anyway, but the entire point is the guy's got a partnership with Faceit, so you're expected to do it through Faceit. And then also, it's a bit better because it gives it compiles the information for them rather than asking people to like post screenshots of the scoreboard, etc. You know, because or like, hey, send the replay file so that we can get it downloaded, whereas Faceit does it themselves. So it's much easier to deal with. Okay, what's this? What did someone reply? Post a salute. It's just like, oh, honestly. Time to close that tab. Do 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. So what, you just shut it now?
Oh, yeah, I forgot to switch it back to the...
Yeah, I was like, well, he's not doing anything. He's not, well, probably not doing anything. I was like, we'll return soon. Bam, bam. There you go. Oh, look, it's me, and me, and me, and me. Tournament staff chat. Do I have to spam? Excuse me? Hello? This is... Yeah, these are, I think, ignore. And... ignore. I forgot that I had... So, I had them say, hey guys, please send me the info. And they sent it in that chat, and I copied it over, but one of the guys actually sent me it in a DM. I was like, fuck, okay, let me accept this. Hey, thanks. Yeah. Because I think they also... My boy also got like a website set up so you could look at the standings and stuff, which is easier to do if you can just copy the data over from Faceit. But if you have to like manually put shit over because of like because of people having to self-host, then yeah, it does suck for them. Honestly though, if I was doing hero bans myself, like if I was a person voting for a hero to be banned, it would probably be the same one each time. So, so for me, it wouldn't make a difference. Like I would look top 500. Oh, they're playing 1, 2, 3 character. I ban that one. F is for friends who do stuff together. U is for you and me. Did you see my I don't know if you were there in the call. Did you see my full up free Zimmer meme
I don't think so,
from
no.
Enclave Emily's watch of Cree playing the Replicated Man quest?
Alright. I've got the jank paused setup working now.
Nice, nice. So, like, what does it do, sir? I wasn't actually paying attention to the actual test. I just know that you've got it set up. So,
Yeah, so the
it
interaction
sets the game pause
works.
to true.
Yep.
So
Yeah, you get this close
clock
option.
interaction, and you have to. Do you have to mouse over?
At the moment you have to mouse over, but I would like to set it up so then if you have a controller input or if you hit a keybind, it'll...
Yeah. I mean, you could steal the pause game keybind,
That is true, yeah.
or you could use like the inventory key, like, or the generic back keybind, right? The select key is usually back, right?
Yeah.
So
I would think the the same key you use for interaction might be the same
interact
one.
would work as well, yeah. So like, what's your current interact key? I could look at the thing, but what is it currently? What did you press to pick up the thing on your keyboard?
For keyboard, it's F.
Okay, yeah, you just set it to interact then, yeah. Because again, if it with the quote unquote dodgy, it's not dodgy. It's actually a perfectly reasonable way to do it. I'm just calling it dodgy because it's like I call it dodgy because you have to set it up for everything. So if you forget to do it, that's why it could cause a bug. Where if you forget to say pause in a script, then that's why the game isn't paused. Whereas if it's a global thing, that's just a state of the engine that you just do like unity.pause or godot.pause, then you know it's harder to forget to do it.
Right.
What am I doing? You.
I'm
I'm going to send you. No, sorry, not you. Server. I'm going to put them in spam hell because they're funny. So we've got Zimmerman, yes. we've got the absence of form. Like, that's the name of the file. And then we've got css.png. Were my versions of the meme. Because Emily had the original image, so I didn't save the original image. I just loaded it into Photoshop and made some snips. So I like the absence of form because it's a transparent PNG. So like if you zoom in on it in Discord, people's like icons will still be behind it. Which Emily found funny, and then I came up with the idea of using the font that Fallout uses for its subtitles, which is Monofonto, I think, to have Zimmer say you forgot to install Counter-Strike Source. And then instead of having the transparency, I replaced it with a pink and black checkerboard.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that in Emily's.
I think I reposted it in Emily's.
Yeah, I think I
was
saw
in
it.
Crease that we did it.
Ah, nice.
Litten, right? Litten is the fire cat. Yeah, sorry, I don't care about like Gen 5 starters. I would save. In fact, probably only going to save the Snivy starters. But after Gen 5, release latest. There we go. Bye, Firecat. You turned into a weird wrestler, and I don't like it. Bye bye.
All right, I've got this code set up so for the case of an input.
Self.visible is true.
That should work theoretically, right? So
I was confused because like I didn't know what I wasn't reading the next three lines.
Yeah.
If on button up void self.visible false, if self.visible true, it wouldn't. What is self?
Self in this case is the pop-up UI. So this is the actual UI.
Okay, good. So, and underscore input is just every input event. Okay, yeah, every event input. If there's an input and whilst this is open, and you press it and it closes. Okay, yeah, that should work fine.
And since
work fine. Did you give it a test?
I was about to, but also since you have the option of the mouse, if you're playing keyboard, you can also hover over the button and click on it yourself. So it gives both options.
Mm-hmm. Bum 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 bum.
Oh, okay. So because of me hitting F, it triggered immediately. So it has to.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could probably put in a. Yeah, because it's on input, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If just pressed. War. Because action just pressed. That's most recent input, right?
Yes. So it's not hold. It's just press. Period.
As in, it's been held. So like when you interact with something, you hold down the button,
right? You don't hold down. You just tap.
Okay.
On
So
it.
actually, in the interactor for the pickup item, what code is what's the code for when you interact? Blah, 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 blah.
Here it is.
Input. Okay. If action is just pressed. So, okay. Tell me the difference. Okay. What's the difference between press and hold?
Currently, there's nothing that I have that has different inputs based on that. But
No,
if
I
you
don't mean that. I just mean generically. What's the difference between press and hold? How would you differentiate between an input being pressed and an input being held down?
Okay, so pressed would be just is action pressed. If it's just pressed, that means it only sends once.
Start.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas if it's pressed, if it doesn't have just and it's just is action pressed, it's as long as it's held, it continues to be called.
Okay. And obviously you are. That's strange. So is just press should only trigger from that first input, and then until you let go, it won't do is action just pressed again.
Right.
So my guess is that both of these are being called because it is just pressed, and
Yeah, but if it's a one-time input, right?
yeah,
Like, because there's what would I do? Let me look at my code real quick. Actually, no. I'll look at the input function on Windows. Input.
I was gonna set up a,
Control F.
I was gonna set up a thing of, like,
Is action just pressed? Is action just release? And is action pressed?
right.
How does this happen?
My-
Returns true when the user has started pressing the action key event in the current frame of physics tick. So it could be that it's happening too quick, so it's still the same physics tick / frame.
Yeah, okay, so I think I have an idea. So you know that await command? So an on ready, not on ready, excuse me, there'd be a function that once visible, there's an await timer, and then after that await timer, a bool is set so then it can be interacted with. So then instead of it being based on self visible, it would be based on the bool of, hey, you know, you can interact
you
with it now.
basically set a variable to be on after a timer, just be like to give them a time to read. Then, like, if someone, and that's the thing, what you can do is if someone wanted to speedrun, it would be mouse and keyboard. Mouse and keyboard would be more viable because you could just hover your mouse on the close and immediately click.
Right.
Whereas with keyboard, you have to wait that little second just for the fact that you don't want to frame one close the input.
Right.
Because that's not good. Like that could be good for speedrunning, but not good for someone who accidentally pressed F the exact same frame that they opened it. You know.
Right.
So yeah, a quick like half second or even probably 0.2 seconds, right?
Yeah. So it wouldn't be on ready. It would be, you'd have to do something where, I think there's a signal on changing visibility.
Couldn't you?
Yeah, here it is. Visibility changed.
Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, so start doing a wait for like just a couple milliseconds. Like a couple hundred, like 100, 200.
This is in seconds, so this would be probably like a 0.2.
I would also do a check because you don't want it to also wait when it turns off.
Right.
I would do if self.visible.
Right.
Because on visibility change will have happened after the variables have changed. So if self.visible.
That might be needless, but I mean, it is. It might be needless, but I'd rather make sure just in case rather than.
And can interact. Why?
I was thinking it being needless because like the self-visible equals true. That part being needless. Like I'm thinking that might be needless, but I kind of want to have like I'm kind of thinking having both in there just in case there's some weird
would you ever
block
want
thing.
the state where someone looks at a note, the box shows up, and their input is turned off, and they have to watch something happen? Would you ever want that to happen? Like, say for example, here's a good example, right? Pick up a box, right? And they go up to a box and they pick up, and then on the note, a note on the box says, if you put down this box, the room will explode. So they can't put the box back down, and then you trigger a little cutscene where a person walks in and it's like, "Ah, I've tricked you into lifting the box." Because if they did press F, they would put down the box and explode, right? For example.
Right.
So you either let them put it down and they explode, or you remove all input from the player, right?
Right.
So that they're forced into this little cutscene. But you could also think of a better way to do that rather than having the can interact. Because I don't know. It just feels.
The can interact is simply just that bool for the so that way we don't accidentally like spam click it.
Yeah, but you've already got a timer anyway. Oh wait, you've put the timer in the so yeah, if so yeah no that should you shouldn't need the can interact. Why? So because the ball what the ball is doing is covered by the timeout, right?
Right.
Oh wait, no, sorry, I'm a retard. I didn't read the final line, which is can interact. True. Yeah, that should be fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't need self.visible anymore. You're right, but you do need something to turn off can interact.
Right.
Just as like if you have a variable that's triggering for something, let's say most of the time an interactable can't be re-interacted with, right? Let's say that's the case. What if you do have one that can be re-interacted with? Now, next time they open up the thing, can interact won't ever be set. Will be already set true, so it would skip over the if self.visible part. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Well, actually, it would do both at the same time, and that might cause a bug. If not self-visible. So if it turns back off, turn it to can interact false.
Right.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. That means that there shouldn't be ever an edge case, because as soon as it gets made invisible, the can interact that's relevant to making it invisible is no longer needed, so it's back to false. Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. Nice.
What I would do instead would be, rather than a double if, you can probably get away with a can interact equals false at the start of on visibility changed. Think of it like this: on visibility changed is when it's on or off. Let's say it's been turned off. Set it to false. It's not off, so it doesn't get set to true. If it's off and you turn it on, it's been turned on. It gets set to false, and then in the function it gets set to true. Right? So you don't need double ifs. You can just put the false before the if statement. You know? Or you get rid of the second if statement, you put a return into the first if statement. It's just to like not have the double if, because you don't need that second if necessarily, right?
Yeah, because technically, yeah, I get what you mean. Like, really, you just need it to be an else, if anything.
No, you don't even need the second thing. So think of it. Remember that code I made you write, which was something along the lines of, I don't know. I probably have an example of my code, but think of it like this, right? Let's say you want to check 10 items to find an item, right? And you go one by one, checking an item, and you're on the third item. Do you keep checking each item, or do you break out the loop, right? You break out the loop. But let's say you want something to happen when you found the right item. You put it outside of the loop, right? That's just how code works. But let's say you want something to happen outside of an if statement, same like an outside of loop, but you only want it to happen if that if statement doesn't happen, right? Or you want the if statement to overwrite whatever it does. So you'd put it even before the if statement, so you could get rid of the second elif. Because again, you'd set the variable to false, and if it needs setting to true, it gets set to true. If it doesn't need setting to true, there's nothing to set it to true. It stays false every time. It's the exact same logic, but you're doing it the other way around. Or the after fact. To do the after fact, what you would do, like, if true, then you do a return, so it skips over the line that would come next. But if that return never happens, the pass, I think, is the Godot version. Since that pass never happens, it checks the if, not true. Okay, next line, set to false, right?
Right.
So I'm like, either way, either put can interact equals false before if self.visible, that would get the same result, or put it after and put a return in the if.
At the beginning, right? And then
Yeah, because if you think of it like so, remember like if you've ever dynamically changed a string, but that variable is the same variable every time, it's better to clear the string and then add the text later, rather than arbitrary. Say in this case, clear the string, right? So it's like clearing a string and then adding text to the said string, and then that elif and can interact is no longer necessary.
gotcha.
Do you get why that's the case? I'm
Yeah.
not, like crazy.
Yeah. I get what you mean.
Okay.
Yeah. It took me a second because I was like I had to reread it a couple of times, but yeah.
Obviously, it's like a light switch. Come into a room, the light switch is on for some reason. You turn it off. You look you look at your instructions. It says turn on light. Okay, you turn on the light. And as you go to leave, going through the door is the on visibility change. Going through the door, it says turn off the light.
Right.
I'm not in the room anymore, so the code to turn the light switch back on doesn't happen. The room light is off. Every time I come into the room, I've just come into the room, turn the light on. I've left the room. I've just left the room, turn the light off. That's
Right.
basically that.
Okay, got it.
That's like the difference that's happening there. Now, if you had something more complex happening on visibility change, that's when you want to do if else typically, right? Because you don't want to do 50 changes to just then undo those 50 changes. But if it's a single Boolean change, then that's fine.
All right.
Oh, you'll touch my tra-la-la. Anyway, I was gonna go before that, but obviously, I got confused from not reading. You got confused because I was waffling. I'm gonna go make myself some food. Be right back.
All right. All right. So it has just enough so that it doesn't accidentally like fuck it up, but they're still there, so then you can quickly click through it. In the case of people who are trying to run through the game, like posts, like they're trying to speed run it and stuff. So yeah, there we go. We've got that. So there's that. All right. think I might cut these, to be honest. Doors and boxes. I think I might cut that. That way there isn't, yeah, that way is... These will be for like a future thing to look into. I guess I could set up a key item locker. Also, I need to start sketching out like the idea of like what this, like each floor looks like. I need to start sketching that out. Six days, fuck. Oh, that could be kind of interesting. I like that idea. I gotta... There's so much stuff. Fuck. Alright, chat. I'm gonna grab water real quick. I'll BRB. back again. Okay. I need to start figuring out the base kind of layout of this whole operation. I think I was thinking maybe doing it in paint, but eh.
He's a big spider.
That to the bee.
Well, technically, it's only got 6 legs, so it'd actually be like an ant or something. But he's a big spider.
All right. That way, I'm thinking the main central room is kind of like, not necessarily a safe house, right? But it for the first floor, at the very least, you're kind of comfortable in here, for the most part. Like you're not going to be dealing with clones right off the bat. It allows you to kind of learn the controls, how everything kind of functions, and things like that. So
Yeah,
that way
makes
you're,
sense.
and then expands out, and then there's an elevator that's currently has something blocking its path, and of course the power is out. So you only find out that like, hey, something's wrong here, and when the power comes back on, and it sounds like you try to go to the elevator, and it's like something's in the way, like something's blocking it, so you can't get in. So you're something kind of clues you in, and like, hey, there's something wrong here. But then once you grab the data and stuff from the final floor, you effectively have like this thing creature that's sliding through the halls and stuff, and it's like, you know, insinuating that that was the thing that was causing the blockage.
Yeah. Sounds good.
But yeah,
oh no. Oh no, I'm gonna get defeated. I hope it doesn't have a high fidelity 1080p, actually no, 4K animation of my female character getting... See, I didn't even have to do it. You know by the implication of
yeah.
we are of a like mind. An innocent mind wouldn't have laughed. You, foul, depraved, degenerate individual.
Do you think this layout, not layout, but like what I list off in each floor, does that make sense?
Ascend to the main room with whole spidering out from it. Elevator, soft lane until the end, something blocking its path. Here to be the let the player get used to the controls and how it plays area. Threats only in the outer rooms. Some more in the docks followed here.
Oh, that's strictly just for the ground floor. It's in the layers I have of like.
Oh, you mean by the okay basic layout? Power, water, corrupts, staff quarters, security, armory, clones, cryo data, clones, cryo pods, and data recovery. Yeah, I don't see much else.
Yeah, the reason why I ask is just like if it like
life support area.
I guess that could be, considering the crops, like that could be, like B1 could be the life support area.
In part, yeah, but obviously crops in and of themselves need climate control, sure, but there's a degree to which how much air are you taking from outside of this bunker, and then how are you filtering that air to then be pumped through the rest of the facility, and then climate control for the crops specifically, so they've got the right pH in the soil, the right humidity in the air. You know?
Yeah.
Because if you just have a bunker and you've got nothing in there to like climate control or whatever, there's a degree to which, yeah, it's just going to get worse and worse the deeper you get.
Right.
You can temperature control relatively easily. You can kind of pump air relatively easily. But making it like laboratory conditions, because this is like an experimental laboratory basically, there's going to need to be something dedicated to managing all of those things.
Gotcha. Do you think it makes sense with like on the staff quarters and?
Yeah, on the staff level, yeah.
Okay.
Now, if you want an explanation as to why this place might, be fucked over, then it being where the clones are is most reasonable. But you can always have it that the clones pushed past the security and into the life support and fucked with it. And so that's why you're coming in, is because everyone inside is basically dead.
Right.
And it could be that basement 3 is locked out until you go into life support and get it kind of pseudo up and running again.
Yeah.
But in doing so, that could be one of the type things where the thing that was blocking the elevator wakes up type stuff. You don't need the elevator yet, because you're still going down, but when you try and take the elevator back up, you've woken it up because you've adjusted the life support systems so that, I don't know, fresh air is being pumped into the facility again rather than stagnant air.
Right.
Like, there's no threat of not being able to breathe because it's still, on the planet Earth, but there's a degree to which the air is stale and dusty from being down deep in the basement without fresh air being pumped in.
So they're to some extent you could say it's like it's in hibernating. It's like kind of hibernating, and once fresh air is back in, it's like I can breathe again, and it starts causing havoc.
Probably, yeah. I mean, that's the way you want to do it. It's just like, because otherwise, you gate progression typically by the only way downstairs is by axing the stairwell.
Right.
Why can't I get down this stairwell? Oh, you actually have to use a separate set of stairs which are locked. That's a good enough excuse. Or the stairwell that goes further down is blocked off by something that you need to deal with on this level. And that block could even be the cryo pod room has like kind of overflowed some of its ice or whatever. Because obviously this is in the Antarctic, so there's a degree to which everything's kind of cold.
Yeah.
So to keep it manageable for the people working here, you'd want to warm it up. And if those turn off, it's going to start being cold. Then you've got a cryo lab downstairs that might leak ice. You might get the Bioshock 1 situation, where downstairs you need the fire ability to melt through the ice.
Right.
Just in this case, it's not a fire ability, it's, turn back on the life support systems to temperature control that hallway so you can go down the stairs.
Right. Okay. I kind of like that, where
Obviously, these are just examples. If you like that example, you can probably work it into what you want to do.
Yeah. I'd almost think maybe I should not have as much stuff on the entrance. I'm thinking to some extent maybe these areas over here would lead to the floors above, but you don't have access to them because they're locked off or some shit. And those would be for security. Well, not security, but external security.
You could use something like Vault 21 in New Vegas as a rough approximation of what you want. It has more levels, but you can consolidate some of those levels into separate things. Where you've got the elevator in the middle, and to go up and down, there are two staircases on either side, I believe. And so some of them, one side is often blocked off, and the other side, so you have to go through the thing to then unlock the way down. Not Vault 21, Vault 22? Well, 34 actually. No, not 34. I know it's not 34. It's the Mantis one. I think it's Vault 22.
Yeah. It has. Well, this one's the one that has all the
Yeah,
and
it's
you have to.
yeah. Because it has a broken elevator which you can repair, and then the woman that's stuck in there is like, "Oh, you fixed the elevator, nice." But it has that kind of thing where you have to go down floor by floor, and it's not the same thing each time. You've obviously got the atrium where you could always just jump down, and the atrium has its own upstairs and downstairs. And it's rather simple because it's 5 levels on top of each other. But it could be something you use as an inspiration in terms of the floors.
That to some extent, kind of the whole thing of
Because
the
they
elevator.
have oxygen recycling, which is a bunch of plants. Because obviously in post-apocalypse, you don't want to take in potentially irradiated air.
Right.
And it's effectively the same premise: is you have this thing to survive a potential bad scenario, so you want it to be relatively self-sustaining.
What if this was this central atrium? You had the visibility of looking from top floor, the ground floor, all the way down to the bottom, to the basement floor, and you have
that could be cool, yeah.
And then you have the elevator, so then that you see, but it's completely. But then again, if it's visible, then you'd see that something's on it. You know what I mean?
No, because all the lights could be off.
True. and then you turn the power on, you look back into the atrium, and you're like, what the fuck is that thing?
Yeah. And you just assume it's some sort of like mass. So it's like, okay, I can't use the elevator at any time point. But then you get to the final thing, you do it. There's like a whirring in the entire building, a slight shaking, and you come up to the elevator. It's now blinking a light to say that you can use it.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute, something was blocking it earlier. Why?
Why can I see clearly into the atrium from the elevator? That's not good. Oh fuck!
This is gonna fucking scream of, hey, I haven't got that far into Final Fantasy VII. But when you start Final Fantasy VII, when you plant the bomb and you start running, there's a lot of like very high industrial walkways that you're walking through. Another example is like in Portal 2 when you fall down into the into
like
the aperture.
the sort of like the sort of basement area.
And also partially in Fallout, in Portal 2 where you are like in the behind the scenes section trying to avoid GLaDOS.
Right.
And then by extension trying to avoid Wheatley, where you've got these very like tall sections and that like they're not lit by anything because they don't expect this area to be lit. So it's very dark. Like if you pull up an image.
I've played Portal 2. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Not the Portal 2 example. The example I'm thinking of is the Final Fantasy 7 example.
Oh, Final Fantasy example.
The first battle that you do that isn't like the people, like you plant the bomb and there's some battles you can do as you're leaving. Like Final Fantasy 7 starter game escape sequence or something. I don't know what it's called. I didn't play that far into the game because I just don't like turn-based games and I don't like JRPGs.
Oh, that's just the command. That's not.
So just look at images. You'll probably get a good image if you look at the images. I'm just gonna have remake in there. Do minus remake in your search. Like the remake kind of covers the aesthetic I'm going for, but like there's specific scenes that aren't in the remake. Kind of, Brave doesn't really like that. Let me see if I can get an image instead.
Mako reactor number 5.
Yeah, you plant the bomb in the reactor. Yeah. Actually, this is an alright image, I suppose, from the remake. That gets the point across. I prefer the original because I think the original has a slightly distinct art style from the remake. But in Spam Hell, there's this.
Yeah.
Where you can like see down and it's dark down there and it's only lit by the lights. You just imagine that like multiple levels further. But like the further down is darker because there's less lights. The only lights are like the maybe an emergency light running down the wall. So you've just got some like red lights that they don't glow bright enough to illuminate the elevator shaft. They like give a sense of depth.
Yeah.
And then maybe when you turn the power on, other lights turn on, like you said, that like actually do flood. So it's like it's not completely flooded. It's not going to turn not all of that is expected to be 100% visible all the time.
Right.
Oh, here it is. So when you plant the bomb, I believe, it looks like this.
Yeah.
It's just in this case, it's got a green hue because it's like a reactor. Like just imagine it the opposite way around. The further down, it's darker. In fact, the right side of this image is like a perfect representation of what it'd be. And then you turn the power back on, you get the left side of the image.
Yeah.
This is train station sector 1 and sector 8. Yeah, I remember there's a part where you're like walking across a bunch of like walkways, and it's in that classic like painted background style where it's technically a 2D game in the way that it's coded, but it feels 3D because you're going through this seemingly isometric perspective.
Yeah.
Ah, here it is.
Ah.
Turns out I should have just done the obvious thing of opening up a walkthrough of the original game.
Yeah, I could see how this works well because it's like obviously if you're playing this on like a CRT and it's obviously like OG hardware, like it would just blend in perfectly. Like
Yeah.
I think this might be an emulator.
Probably. I mean,
Yeah. Or if not an emulator, it's
I mean,
somebody
I
who
don't
ended
think
up
it
like
perfectly
modding the
blended
console,
in
but
the original.
Mm.
Obviously, on a CRT TV, it would blend in better.
Oh, yeah.
Like, them standing out is part of the point because you want them to be able to distinguish their characters from the terrain they're walking through.
right.
But like that follow-up image where you can see like the lower downstairs section, and that's not
Mhm.
like playable space or anything because this is again you can only walk where it makes sense for your character to walk.
Right.
Because that's how it's coded, but still, like, you're seeing down deep into the bowels of this sector of the fucking reactor building.
Right.
But yeah, that kind of repeated example of the elevator shaft, the security, like the emergency / security lights, and then having it all light up. Maybe the power up process triggers, but the lights only turn on, even though it wouldn't make much sense. The lights only turn on when you come back out to the atrium, so you get to see the cinematic chung 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 chung.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Or you could do a little cutscene, lights turn off.
Yeah.
With a cool little chung chung chung.
Maybe it's a bit of both, where you go in, you look in, right, and then you have the cinematic, which.
Well, no, because obviously you could do both, but I mean the idea was if you wanted to, because if you pull the lever of the switch, it should just turn things back on.
Mm-hmm.
Unless there's a thing in the atrium that you have to press to be like reinitialize system. Because otherwise, you're in the power switch room, which would turn the lights on.
Right.
And if you walk back out, it could, just for cinematic reasons, turn on there. You could tie it to a button in the atrium to turn it back on. Or you could, what do you call it? You could make it so a cutscene happens whilst the character's still in the power room to turn the lights back on.
Maybe, okay, how about this? You turn the power on and you have to go back to like a certain spot in the elevator. Maybe it's in the basement, like lowest floor. And it's there to like restart the elevator. You know what I mean?
Sure, but if this atrium sees all the way down to the bottom level,
Mm-hmm.
It would have lights in that section that turn on regardless of the elevator.
Right. I was just thinking that way you could be at the bottom and then you see the atrium in the background, like sort of in the background, lights turn on kind of thing. Kind of like.
Like it depends on how you'd want to do it. You could always rejig the thing to make it make sense in the way you want it to make sense.
Mm.
New Vegas has places in Sierra Madre that have like inaccessible. I think Big Mountain too that have just like inaccessible rooms in some of these places. I think even the base game as well. It has like inaccessible rooms that you don't notice most of the time because you just assume that the hole in the wall was a doorway when it obviously wouldn't have been.
Right.
But like most players don't notice because a slight, like a slight mistake in terms of architectural planning doesn't matter if the player's having fun.
True.
Besides, that's just good law. Of course, this facility would break down. They put the toilets on the other side of the fuck. They only put toilets on level 1. I'm working down here in level 4. The elevator's stuck. I have to walk all the way up.
I feel like, at least for one bathroom, I feel like there should be like the Doom 3 jump scare. Just like nobody expects it. They're just going through like one of the bathrooms, and as they enter, they get the jump scare, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
But yeah, I think it's red circles or something. You can see on this little map that you got here about the different ways that it interconnects.
Yeah.
Now, usually it's the same staircase section, but it's not guaranteed to be that staircase section because of the cave. If you treat the cave like an actual part of the building rather than just something that coincidentally they happen to build into, then like there are different ways downstairs. So you just, let's say you got 3 ways to get downstairs, you block off 2 of them, you have to go down the 3rd one. Or you block off all 3 of them, but one of them's blocked off by a puzzle, the other 2 are blocked off by rubble. And then what you do is maybe one of some of the ones that are blocked on the way down are unblocked on the way back up because of things that you do as you go further down into the basement.
Yeah.
Pseudo shortcuts, but then also because hey, you've got like an escape sequence to get out of the facility as fast as possible while there's big monsters chasing you. Then it can be now you've unlocked faster ways to get back upstairs.
Yeah. Oh, that could be like a even more. I just thought of something just because but now as soon as I was about to say it, like I immediately start worrying about like the scale of the monster, because what I was thinking of is like maybe the thing that's actually blocking, because you can't see real well because of how dark everything is that it's just like one part of the monster that's like blocking these hallways, and now that it's moved out of those areas and is now kind of just flowing through the main lab, it's unblocked the things that, you know, like its appendages have blocked prior. But then I was thinking, if it could be that big where it kind of spirals out, then
if you're doing something of that size, it's good to make it some like generic mass.
Yeah.
It's easy to like say, oh, it gets smaller, gets bigger, kind of moves like a big slime, rather than like an actual entity that you could feasibly say, oh, if it just stood up, it would immediately leave the bunker.
Right. That to be fair, considering I was going with like thing route, it's definitely going to be like this ball of mass. Like you would see like the bodies of like other people or clones that are in there, right? And yeah, it's the thing that I'm thinking about, and like the reason why I was like kind of going against it now is because it's like if it's kind of sprouting out all over the place, and now because of the oxygen it's out of hibernation for all intents and purposes, wouldn't it just kind of spread out a lot more rapidly and kind of like take over as like a...
I mean, it depends on the nature of the beast. It's your thing.
True.
It's your sci-fi monster that you've made up.
True.
I'm just thinking more getting stuff done.
Yeah. You're right.
Because we can spitball forever and then nothing gets done. So
yeah. True. But you could see on how I was like kind
I know
of
what you mean, yeah. No, I heard that.
Okay, I've been putting it off. I actually do need to set up a inventory system for the player.
You make some like graphics in your previous one?
I did a little bit. It's more of like a, it's a like a rough UI just to get like layout of it.
Neato. I can't see the full thing because you're scrolling down.
Yeah.
Right. So you got like 8 slots, which are like buttons, I presume.
Yeah, they'd effectively buttons. Yeah.
Kind of like the Resident Evil buttons, right? And then items get stored in the black space at the bottom.
It would be no, the each button would be the in the
Item
would
container.
with
Okay,
the
so
item
you've got like 8
container,
item slots.
yeah.
Okay. When did Resident Evil, like, did it start from the beginning with the whole items take up multiple squares thing, or was that like Resident Evil 4?
That
Or was
was
it something before 4? Because I know it's in 4.
maybe 2 or 3 did it, but 1 itself, I think everything
just
just
individual
was
items,
just
yeah.
1 slot. I know they do that
Chris
for
gets
the
6 spaces, Jill gets 8.
yeah.
Oh, actually, the attaché case is a Resident Evil 4 film.
Okay, so well, I know the attaché case is Resident Evil 4,
What
but I
meant
think
is like items taking up more than 1 square.
right.
Whereas what I'm looking here.
Oh, it's only. Oh,
Resident
so it's
Evil
only in the
0
remake.
just has 12 plates, 6 each, but 12 if they're together.
Right.
Resident Evil 2
Okay.
is 8, but you can get more if you get an upgrade.
Right. Okay. So Resident Evil 2
3
remake
is like
does that then, where a shotgun can take
yeah,
2
in the
slots.
remake they did
Yeah.
that. I know that was.
Okay.
I just didn't know if it went back before that.
Yeah. That's what I thought is because that my brain went stupid and thought about that. So my bad. So yeah, that would be
Because
RE4 then.
Resident, all the remakes are all in the same RE engine as
Right.
Resident Evil 7, so
Right.
they all use basically the exact same mechanics.
Right.
Yeah.
So in the black box to the left is going to be any
Status?
yeah, your status and any items that you're investigating. So that
in the fucking Resident Evil
so that
1
so that way if you're investigating an item, maybe there's like a code on an actual item kind of thing. So you have to like rotate it around, you know.
So looking from Resident Evil 1, you've got Jill in the top left, a little like radio box, the equipped item for the gun, exit file map, then all the item slots, obviously the NPD because she's police department, and then a small key with a tag attached to it. So yeah, so the big box, you put the item, the description of the item, the character, your plan if you wanted to be 1-to-1 to like Resident Evil 1.
Right.
Like, I'm assuming because it says condition fine, so yeah, that's your little status.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get what I get what it's meant to do. Must be. I'm just imagining like doing Resident Evil 4 remake, or Resident Evil 7 or Resident Evil 8 with the old inventory system. Because I'm sure like puzzle pieces fit in there because I see keys and map pieces and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like, imagine the puzzles that take like 4 pieces, and then you have to take up half your inventory to solve a single puzzle.
Yeah.
That sounds awful. Would you have I don't know if it existed in Resident Evil 1, I think it did. Would you have little storage chests as well?
Yeah, Resident Evil 1 had the inventory, like the magic chest that, that was connected to every other magic chest.
I mean, you could have it if I don't know how well you'd want to implement this. but you could have it so that the quote unquote safe room is like one room adjacent to the atrium, and what you're doing to store all your stuff is putting it in like a dumbbell elevator.
Yeah.
So it's accessible because you're pulling it down from the room upstairs.
Right.
Rather than magic chests, because obviously
Yeah.
in a mansion that sometimes two safe rooms on the same level on the opposite side of the place, it's a bit harder to do that. But if you have a more vertical level, you can get away with that, can't you? So.
True. Maybe these could be like guard stations.
Yeah.
And so you have the save station, which would be the computer terminal at the guard station, and then you'd have the dumbbell for your inventory storage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, the Ovid-1 inventory would look in Dino Crisis made by me. Yeah, looks cool. So, question to you.
Yeah.
As you probably pull up your fucking code, or whatever. How are you, and this is you thinking out loud and also potentially writing, how are you going to do the actual inventory part, like items in the inventory? Presumably you need an inventory item that gets displayed.
Right.
And then holds data in the thing, like number of item, the data of the item so that you can check for puzzles, an image to represent on the screen. Right? Do you have this yet? Or do you... So inventory.gd, you have basically just
the very
show and close, right?
Yeah, right now it's just
so
you could turn it on and turn it off right now.
So how do you want to store items in your code? Like I said, you have multiple things you need to keep track of.
Right.
Item count, item image, item name, item description for when you hover over it and it shows in the big box. Probably ID or something that attaches it. So like if it's a key, like a flag ID, something that's like, oh, this is a small key with a tag attached to it, right? This is the default key, level 1 clearance card. It opens all level 1 doors. This is a level 2 clearance. So rather than saying level 2, this opens all level 1 and level 2. This is level 3, whatever. Mm-hmm. So instead of saying check for specific item if they've got it in inventory, you check for if they have the tag of level 1 clearance, level 2 clearance, etc.
Right.
So if you're doing that, you basically want to make an item thing, an item class that is attached to all items, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you just store them in effectively the same format each time, where it's like name. Well, that's basically how it would work anyway. So like my inventory system is kind of like this.
I was thinking.
Obviously, it's unlimited, and you have pagination and stuff and filter buttons. But if you ignore all that fluff, if I could make my inventory 8 squares. I would have no need for pages. So the way I do it is I have an item class, which you instantiate each time, and you do like add item input, and it's just a list of said item, right? You could do an array, because I doubt you need the complexity of a list with an 8 item list.
True.
Like item 0 is nothing. Item 1. So probably tied to the player, right? Rather than or I suppose tied to the inventory script. That'd be fine. You'd want an array or a list that's just 8, size 8, and then you could dynamically say item 0 is gun, item 1 is from like the image I'm looking at, spray can, item 2 is ammo, item 3 is key, item 4 is what looks like a grenade or mine. Item 5, 6, 7 are nothing. Because with small lists, you don't need to sort or anything. So you need it being like a enumerator list that you go through specially. The only thing, and I think you can make an array out of basically any data type.
Right.
So because obviously it's the difference in Python and GD script.
Mm-hmm.
Like in C# I can do it like right now, like I can probably read out the code from my brain into your face.
Right.
With GDScript, I'd probably have to type it out myself just to make sure.
Right. You'd have. Right, and. Right.
For now, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before we even have items, you could basically think, how am I going to render them anyway? Right? Is it top left, top right, middle left, middle right, bottom left, bottom right? Is it left, right, or is it?
Yeah, that's how
top
it's.
left,
that's
yeah,
how it's
I know
handled.
That's how it is. It's how you want it.
No, that's how
top
it's handled in the inventory grid setup.
Oh, so the instance slot one. Okay, fair enough. So it reads like a book.
Yes.
I know there were problems with dynamically adding children to things. In terms of taking an existing object and adding it as a child to something else. You know, like with the camera issues we're having.
Right.
I know there isn't an issue with instantiating new objects. So yeah, you would need. So yeah, okay. So you got your 8 slots. 0. Yeah, you've got slot 1, but it's slot nothing, and slot 2, 3, 4. You should probably make all your slots have a similar naming scheme.
Yeah, I was about. Yeah, as soon as you said that, I was like, maybe I should.
Either it should be slot 1 or slot 0 through 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
You thinking or?
No, I've done it.
No. I get not that. I mean, you're thinking because otherwise you're just sitting there looking at your screen. What you do?
Right.
You solve the problem of the name being a bit.
Right.
How are you going to start writing your inventory code?
Right. That's. Barely minimum is like probably set up like just.
Well, you need something to store all the information. So it's a variable. It's a data type in the script. No script. Why? Oh, for the item. An inventory item. Data. Don't need either of those. So, yeah, this is something that would attach to your inventory script. It has like an item name, an item description, an item image, an item count, an item. I don't know. And then maybe like string tags or something. Like it's like a list of tags. So let's say this would be me more trying to dynamically future proof. But like let's say you did have a level 3 key card, and somehow someone left the level 1 key card in storage because it takes up a slot. You wouldn't want it that they can't get through a level 1 door when they've got higher level clearance. So
Right.
the level 1 door checks for the tags, right? It's like item tags, level 1, level 2, level 3.
Okay.
Or you do it the other way around, where if item dot level or like item dot clearance tag is less than or equal to is greater than or equal to door level 1 open, right?
Right.
Both work, it's just different directions. The door does the check. The door does the check every time, but like, is the door storing the number it is, or the number it, or the numbers that bypass it? Right.
Right. I think the door should do the check.
No, the door will do the check either way.
Well,
Point being,
you know what I'm trying to say when.
so
when
the
saying
door stores its level, or
Yeah.
the door checks for the proper tag.
It checks for the proper tag, and then if
Okay.
you succeed, then it opens.
Okay, so a level 3 clearance would also have the level 1 and level 2 tag, just for convenience.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. So yeah, name, description, image. then you'd want item count and then also max item count. The reason I say max is, let's say you have a gun, it can only load 15 bullets. Technically, in code, you have 15 guns. Like, that's the easiest way to do it, is that you've got 15 guns and you shoot, it becomes 14 guns. But rather than, but let's say you've got ammo can stack to, like, say 99, right? You want to be able to dynamically decide, rather than say, oh, if ammo only go to 99, if key item only, like, just have it so it's tied into the item itself.
Yeah. I think what would be interesting is if you have yet to find, at least in some areas, like that would make sense. So off like a corpse of a guard or something, and you haven't picked up the pistol from like the original spot, right? You could pick up the pistol off of the guard, and then after that, any other guards you find, instead of a pistol, you'll find the ammo.
Yeah, I mean, you would just have it so that if inventory pistol, well, actually, you'd probably say, well, it would depend on how you do it, because you would either have a flag that you trigger that says player has picked up pistol, all future pistols get left, and just pick up the ammo instead. But what if the person left their pistol in their secret in the dumb waiter?
I would say that it would still trigger because you can still use the ammo from the pistol, because the SMG uses the same ammo type.
What if someone's playing your game and saying, "Oh shit, I forgot to pick up a gun. Oh good, a gun," and they pick up ammo. Oh, just ammo, huh?
Maybe, okay. If that's the case, then maybe the case of you have the option of just picking the ammo up from it, or picking up the gun and the ammo from it. Maybe something like that.
Maybe. Up to you, innit?
Yeah. Which in that case, it would be, I guess, technically speaking, an item count of 2, which one item being the pistol and the other item being the ammo. So then you could theoretically always come back to the gun, but then again,
in terms of item count, this is the item that's being rendered on the screen and saved in the data.
Right. I'm playing through. I'm playing through the thing in my head right now.
Attached to the guard, right? The items attached to the guard, they would have 2 items in its item: gun and ammo.
Right.
When you interact, it will do the check. Does player have gun? If so, give ammo. If not, ask, because you might have a flag that turned on. So first time, it just makes you pick up the gun.
Mm-hmm.
Turn on the flag. Player has picked up gun. Right. If player has picked up gun and doesn't have gun, ask, do you want to pick up gun?
Right.
And then you could maybe even have like a little option in the settings, never pick up repeat weapons.
Right. Maybe it's the case.
Like auto cancel those menus and have them just not pop up.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's a check where it's like, hey, does this person have it in their inventory? And if it's in their inventory, it just goes immediately to the ammo. And then if it doesn't have the inventory, they ask.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Right. Okay. Just okay.
It's just
we're
the
on
first
the same
time
page.
it wouldn't ask, because why would you ask when it's their first time picking up the gun? They're just going to pick it up, right?
Right.
I mean, someone could always say no and try to do knife only.
Right.
Is that something you want? Someone can just choose to not pick up the first gun in the game? Put like a challenge run?
I could see that, yeah.
In that case, then, if no item inventory, ask the question regardless if they've already picked up the gun. So yeah, less code needed.
Yeah.
So in for the last thing, I'd have tags, right? So
right.
Export their tags, and I'd make it like an array of strings. You could always do an array of numbers, and then have a lookup and have like a file where you keep the numbers. But then it's harder to say, oh, I want this to open level 1, right? So array isn't a data type. It would be a string and then with square brackets. I believe it's string up script language. Let me check again.
I thought it was.
GD script array.
It's been a hot second since I've done arrays.
There's C. Oh, right, yeah, you don't even. So, var C equals. What about? Expected type for collection. Oh, maybe it is array string. This isn't even the GD script thing. This is a GD script tutorial. Excuse me. Godot array. Let's look it up. Yeah.
Hey!
Equals. Oh, it is square string? Fair.
Yeah, yeah.
That just feels silly to me. So yeah. So if you were to make an item real quick, just like in the node tree, just make like a thing to be a test item. You could put it in the inventory or not, but it's just there to be a test. Inventory grid, slot 1, add a child. Just call it like, yeah, just the node. And if you attach the inventory item script to it right now, like drag it and put it in. Oh, it doesn't let you just add to the array.
No, you click on it and then you can add element.
Oh, okay, there you go. Okay. Okay, good. So yeah, you can click add element and it dynamically. Okay. Because in there you'd do like Bingus, and the next one would be Schmungus. Bingus, Schmungus, and then yeah, you would just check for those. So you would still technically need a degree to which you keep track of tag names. All right.
Right.
Tag 1 is Bingus. Tag 2 is Schmungus, and then the door would just check if it's a level 1 door. Check inventory for each item in inventory. This is like C# code rather than the Python version.
Right.
Like for X in. For X in inventory dot inventory, right? Because inventory is the script, inventory is the variable.
Mm-hmm.
Inventory dot inventory. If X dot tags for each tag for Y in tags, like item for X dot tags,
mm-hmm.
then it would just be like if Y equals the string that you want, level 1, return true. And then if it all goes through and nothing happens, return false. Is basically the gist there.
Right.
You basically just go through down the list and through the tags in each item and say, is this the right one? No? Okay, next one. Is this the right one? No? Next one. Is this the right one? No? Oh, you've got no more? Okay. Exit out. This is not the right key. Next item. Goes through all 8 items. You don't have the right key. Fuck off.
Yeah. I could even hear like you interact with it and you just get it like an yeah, exactly. And it's like need a key with this level or something for it.
But yeah, you could also in that moment do a little pop-up say needs a key.
Yeah.
What about ammo type?
You'd have to set it up so then it is ammo, so that way, like, I mean, you've got your health items and you got your ammo,
Okay.
and then you've got
like
key
so
items.
You've got consumable items, non-consumable items.
Right.
You've got, but those can kind of just be done whenever the consumption happens.
Right.
Let's say person presses the heal button.
Right.
It uses the heal item. That item gets consumed. It's all done in that one script.
Mm-hmm.
Reload. Reload happens by check if pistol ammo if pistol ammo, check pistol count. If count less than max count, add to count per and subtract the difference from the ammo. But you still need a way to determine whether or not it's ammo, which would probably just be best to be done as a tag, I suppose.
Yeah.
So you could tag the pistol as pistol, and you could tag the pistol ammo as pistol ammo, and then it just iterates through the tags to say, is this pistol ammo? Yes, load it into the pistol.
Yeah.
You could, like, because obviously you could make some of these tags individual things, right? Rather than this is a health item. So this is like a boolean is health item, true. Right? You could have a boolean is ammo, true. Rather than iterating through all the tags, because if you make it all tags, then you start to get like tags bloat, where let's say in this hypothetical scenario, you have a puzzle that requires putting a bullet in the puzzle. So now, that specific ammo type needs to have the tag that matches the puzzle, because the puzzle's effectively a door. And so the door needs to check either for pistol ammo, which means repeating things, or you end up adding a new tag specifically for that puzzle, and it can get complicated. But for the most part, it should be fine, because there shouldn't be that many. Like, base tags I'm thinking are key tags for like unlocking doors, ammo and weapon tags for like this ammo goes with this weapon.
Right.
Health, like consumable tags to say, for like health kit, right? Health tag.
Yeah.
And then that's like it, right?
Yeah.
Those
That's
are the main tags. Like
yeah.
puzzle piece is technically the same as level clearance, right? So that's the key tag.
Yeah.
The only thing obviously is you would want all these tags in a place you can easily consult, because if it's just a string text, it's easy to type in, but it does mean that you could make a typo. You could forget what you called it on the door, or you could forget what you put it on the item, for example. Like a level 3 key, you might put level 1, level 2, level 3, but then when you go to write the door code, you might have just put 1, 2, 3, or just clearance, or, you know. So you then have to go check back in the item code. Hey, what did I define this time? You know.
I'm curious if I can set this up like this.
Should be able to. It would just be tag ID, wouldn't it? Hey! Consumable, key, ammo, probably key level.
Hey, okay. I just wanted to like throw a couple in there real quick just to see if I could actually get it to work. Okay.
Health, key, ammo, nice. So you've got the base tag, which is like what type of item it is, but then you've also got like information specific. Right? Like maybe because obviously if you're going Resident Evil style, you could have 1, 2, 3 for health amount. For you're on 1 health, because it's like it's 4 states, right? Dead.
Yeah.
Fine. Slightly injured, massively injured, right?
Yeah.
So massively injured is like 1 health, dead is 0, slightly injured is 2, fine is 3. So you could have an item that heals 1 point and an item that heals 2 points.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that could be a dedicated integer, or it could be a tag. It depends on how complicated you want to make most of these things, because a lot of it could all be done in a tag. This is health 1, health 2. This is key 1, key 2, key 3. This is ammo pistol, ammo shotgun. This is weapon pistol, weapon shotgun. The more you add, the more tags you end up using. Then it starts becoming, why make it a tag and just not make it its own dedicated variable type?
Right.
Tags are definitely useful for like keycard clearance. But like I said, for other things, you might want to make it a different data type. And I am probably, because I am distracting myself here, going to head off, and you can try and solve some of this stuff yourself, and work a solution that works for you that isn't just me telling you what to do.
Yeah.
Not in that way. I mean, in the way that it might work for me, but wouldn't work for you because you don't as intuitively understand it as I do. Whereas if you come up with a solution yourself, it's something you're going to more intuitively understand because it's how your brain works, not how my brain worked.
Right.
So yeah, I helped with because like the tags thing, you could remove that because that was a suggestion I made. But name, description, item, image, item count, max item count, you wouldn't want to get rid of that because I suggested it doesn't mean it's not the things you actually need in information.
Right.
The tags was just how I would probably do what you want because it's quicker. Like in my actual code, I don't have anything like that. I have enums upon enums upon enums. Let me just pull up one up quick, right? Let me pull up my item code. Where's item? There's item. Obviously, mine's an RPG. It's a bit more complex.
Right.
But we have... Let Visual Studio load for a moment. I could read it on Unity, but it's currently loading Visual Studio. I am a very model of a modern major general. Okay, we have the spell list, because items can have spells attached to them. Item name, item icon, item ID, item count, item type, item weight, item value, item power, item skill, item effect 0, 1, 2, 3. So there are 4 variables that are just 0, 1, 2, 3. Item health, item max health, is magical, item material. Item type, which is an enum, default, armor, weapon, ammunition, clothing, artifact, potion, scroll, food, alchemy ingredient, book, note, light source, alchemy, tool, lockpicking tool, crafting tool, enchanting tool, miscellaneous crafting ingredient, miscellaneous key, miscellaneous clutter, miscellaneous currency. Equip slot is equipped. Spell contains items. Contained items. And that's every single variable that's associated with an item currently.
Gotcha.
The contained items for if you're like lifting up a chest, it will add the item to your inventory as an item that contains items.
Huh.
Because I want people to be able to like pick up a chest and take it with them and put it in their house and use it as an extra storage rather than having to pay for a chest. Or they can pay for a chest and it puts an empty chest in the tree and they can put it down inside their house. You just found a little jewelry box that looks nice. And the reason why you want to do this type of thing is there's also weight limits to containers. A chest can only store like 1,000 pounds. A sack can only store like 20 pounds. Maybe less than that. 20 pounds is pretty heavy. Probably like 2 pounds for like a sack. Like a sack of sugar that is like a pound. I could probably go up to 10 pounds with a sack. You know, so that's just so that my RPG makes sense.
Yeah.
I'll put a bear's carcass inside of a jewelry box.
Yeah.
So yeah. That's just to give you insight in what mine is. I don't have tags, for example. Everything is just a thing. The only thing that's quote unquote a tag is the item type, default armor, weapon, ammunition, clothing, artifact, etc. And that's mostly for in my inventory. If you click the artifact button, it will hide all things that aren't artifacts. If you click the magic item button, it will hide everything that isn't magical. If you click the scrolls button, it will hide anything that isn't scrolls, etc. So that you can filter between, hey, I just want my potions, click the potions button.
Huh.
Much like how Morrowind does it, where you can, I think Morrowind does it actually. Let me check real quick before I go. Morrowind inventory. Images. Yeah, Morrowind has all weapon, apparel, magic, miscellaneous. So mine is like Morrowind, but a bit more comprehensive. So you can, fiddle a bit more. And mine has a search bar. Morrowind, I believe, doesn't unless you have a mod. I think. Like it's got like this empty space in the inventory section that would easily put a you could easily put a search bar, but because the windows are scalable, you could scale it and then the search bar would be made invisible. So I think that's why there's not a search bar there vanilla, and mods sometimes will add a search bar there. So yeah, that's just mine. Anyway, like I said, heading off. Peace out. Hope it goes well with the code, and
Yeah. I hope it goes well too. Alright, I'll be right back. All right. I'm gonna call the stream for now. I'll once it cools down, I'll start another stream, and that way I can kind of relax uh, in regards to the heat, because I know as soon as it gets like real bad, my brain kind of just fries, and instead of just trying to fight with the inevitable of just like not being able to make any progress because of the heat, I'm just gonna kind of just sit back, kind of coast, relax the mind a little bit, and then get back into game development once it's cooled down a bit. So,
Weak bitch. Weak bitch.
so I'll see everyone later.